Plaintiff Jessica Pasico had her first date with the defendant on Valentine's Day, and he showered her with gifts. However, Jessica says she soon discovered he was seeing another woman, and he gave her the exact same gifts on Valentine's Day. She's suing her ex for breach of contract. Defendant Rufus Jones III says he thought he and Jessica would be a good fit because they were both single parents. But not long into the relationship, Jessica became jealous, possessive, and sneaky. He's countersuing Jessica for a loan and defamation.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
So Rufus and I met on Facebook. We went on our first date.
When?
Valentine's Day, February 2022, obviously. He showed up, nice gift, bear, cards, roses, the whole 9 yards.
What was the gift?
He had bought just like a big bear, you know, roses, chocolate card, which was refreshing. I mean, it was our first time seeing each other. It was nice. Mm-hmm. We started dating. Right after that, he had took me and my kids the first week we were dating to Wisconsin Dells. He just appeared to be a nice man. He was taking me out to eat, doing everything a man should do in the beginning. By the end of February, a woman had reached out to me asking what my relationship was with Rufus, stating that she was also
30 days?
Yes, stating that she was also seeing him. We had started swapping information. Come to find out, he had bought her the exact same Valentine's Day gift he had bought me, down to the bag, Your Honor, down to the bag. Okay? It was pretty early on in the relationship.
Do you know how many others he did that with? The two of you may not have been exclusive.
This girl told me a lot. Like, if I heard anything, I heard it from her. She told, they dated or they dealt with each other for years before I even came into the picture. So I heard it all from her. We actually became pretty cool. She was reaching out through the relationship. She reached out at the end of the relationship.
To talk about what?
So towards the end of the relationship, she reached out asking why.
In the middle. You said
in the middle.
Reached out all through
She
the
had
relationship.
claimed that when we had got back from Wisconsin Dells, he had came to see her, and they had sex, and reached out again stating.
What did you say? What was your response?
Obviously, I reached out to him, and of course, he denied it.
Okay.
I really didn't have any proof. The text messages she sent me, he claimed were old. There was no dates.
About the next time she reached out to you?
Was after we broke up. She had asked me.
So she didn't reach out all throughout the relationship?
Oh, no, we were talking, not about him, but like
talking
we had.
About what?
Life. She had just lost.
Hadn't she already told you she had slept with your man?
This was, I guess, yeah.
What do you mean you guess? Either you know or not.
Yes.
Did she tell you I slept
she
with
said
your
she
man?
slept with him, yes.
She did?
Yeah.
So, but you said, nah, we just talk and see how the weather is whenever you want to
became,
call. And,
yeah,
hey,
we
girl,
became.
man, you got wife-in-laws, doctor. That's what you call a wife-in-law. Got y'all talking to each other. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Let me hear from you.
Afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Rufus Jones III. I met the plaintiff online. I thought she was a good person. I mean, a woman to me that has 2 jobs, you know, single parent. I'm a single father. I got full custody of my daughter. My daughter's 10 years old. So I just thought it was a good fit. So, like she said, the first date we went on, she was with her son. It was February 14th. Yes, I did. Maybe get them the same thing. However,
There's only one store with one product.
2 for 1.
I'm sorry, sir. I mean, I'm sure they had very similar products on the same rack. Why you got to get the exact one?
The bear color was different.
Pardon
Mine
me?
was white. The bear was different. That was the difference. My bear was white. Her bear was
Well,
brown.
he didn't get you the same thing.
same
Thank you,
He
Ryan.
didn't
Thank you,
get
thank
you
Yes,
the
the
same
bag
thing.
was the
Stop
same.
accusing this man of
Oh
things
my
he didn't
God.
do. He did not get you the same
The
thing
same
as he got
thing.
the other woman. See, that's why I have to get to the bottom of stuff.
God.
Y'all be in here accusing men of doing all type of dastardly things.
my God.
And now we find out that that didn't happen at all.
Did.
lying on you. Go ahead.
So after February 14th, I want to say maybe 2 weeks later at the end of February, I ended up taking her and her kids to the Dells.
To where?
To the Wisconsin Dells, Your Honor. Like a Yogi Bear type of resort. Like a log, you know, something for the kids to have fun.
Good.
So after that, Your Honor, things, I guess I want to say maybe March, maybe started noticing maybe, you know, she wasn't who she said she was. Maybe she had more to hide. Maybe she was.
How so? What did you notice?
She would, you know, be taking
She
phone
noticed that
calls.
phone
She
when it rang.
she would be on phone calls, Your Honor. You know, like leave the room just to answer a phone call. So I
Bet
mean,
you thought it was a man when in fact it was your woman. Go ahead. Go ahead.
but
We had started swapping information, come to find out he had bought her the exact same Valentine's Day gift he had bought me, down to the bag, Your Honor, down to the bag. Okay? It was pretty early on in the relationship.
Do you know how many others he did that with? The two of you may not have been
This girl
exclusive.
told me a lot.
Plaintiff Jessica Pasico is suing her ex-boyfriend, who claims Jessica was jealous, possessive, and sneaky.
What would you say when she come back after leaving the room to talk?
she would say it was a relative or it was a friend, you know, that was calling from the penitentiary or something that she was just, you know, okay with. I mean, to me, Your Honor, honestly, if you didn't had sexual intercourse with this person, that's just not a friend. That's more than a friend to me, regardless if you're together or not. If that makes sense, Your Honor. So
Yeah, was that true?
Yeah, it was true.
How you know?
Because she told me. She actually admitted to that. Because I asked. I'm going to ask questions. There's no reason for me to not ask the
Believe
question.
everything she says, okay.
I don't
Even
believe
though
everything,
you are a
but-
tremendous liar, so much so that you would bring the same gift on Valentine's as you did to her. You think she's honest with you, though. You believe everything she says. Go right ahead. What else you believe?
Well, other than that, I just felt, you know, maybe she was jealous, possessive, you know. So, I mean, that kind of
Did
deteriorated.
the woman call her?
I'm sorry?
Did the woman call her? The other woman?
Yeah, she actually told me, you know, that my ex had actually called her, you know, and was saying that they got the same gift, or I don't know who told who that they got the same gift, but yeah. So.
All right, you seem to be at a loss for what happened. As if you say, she's just jealous. I don't know why she's jealous.
Not to be honest, I'm not really at a loss. I'm just at a loss that we had to actually come, you know, on this show.
Okay,
just to
because
get
she
this.
says because you owe 5,000. We'll get to that.
Yes,
You
sir.
want to talk about the reason you're suing for the 5K?
Sure. So the 4th of April, he had a eye doctor appointment at the mall. So we went to the eye doctor. He couldn't be seen. His insurance didn't go through for whatever reason. We decided to waste time and walk around the mall.
You and your wife-in-law, y'all still talking about him?
On and off, yeah.
Okay, on and off. Now y'all shopping together.
We weren't shopping together. Maybe now we will.
Yeah, good.
So we were shopping.
Big love.
She's a nice girl. She's a nice girl.
I'm talking about big love over here. Go ahead.
So we came across the jewelry store. The manager was in at the time, so you know he was thirsty for a sale. He was showing us everything, opening the cases. Rudy had came across a chain and a charm that he had liked. He doesn't have credit, doesn't have a bank account.
Does he have a job?
He just started working, I want to say end of March, beginning of April. We started dating in February.
And when was this? When you were about to tell me, I got some jewelry in your name.
April 4th, we got the jewelry.
And he was working?
Yes.
Okay. How long had he been working?
Just maybe 2 weeks, but he had a check. I mean, he had a check.
He was doing very well?
Yeah, he
He
seemed.
had savings?
I don't know. He didn't have a bank account, so.
Why do you let somebody put something in your name for $7,500?
I knew he.
Please don't talk over
sorry.
me. No, I know you don't want the people to hear this because it doesn't make sense.
Go
It's
ahead.
not reasonable
You're right.
for a reasonable and normal
You're right.
thinking person.
You're right.
He's only been working for 2 weeks. He has no credit. Was he living with you?
No.
Okay. He has no credit. No job but for 2 weeks. I asked you, did he have any money? I don't know. I just put him in my name. I just put $7,500 in my name. If there's a problem, I'll bring it to you. No, you won't. Let's get rid of this real quick.
I mean-
So what did you do when you knew he didn't have a job or credit or bank account? What you say you did again? You put how much of a chain in your name for him?
$72.50.
$72.50. No job. $7,000.
He did have a job.
Off the top. Second week of work. What else you want me to know?
I mean, he obviously had income coming in. We had been dating previously. He was showing me the money. He was good for it. His family lives in
You don't know
a
where he
mini
was getting
mansion.
it, though. You say
I
you
don't.
Right, and so when you're putting something in someone's name for literally $10,000, know where they're getting the money, so you can project whether you're going to get that back, so that you can project whether you're going to bring this to me. All right. So let's get back to the agreement on the repayment.
Okay. So we discussed with the manager minimum payments. The manager said so it had to get divided into 2 loans. So one went on, it was a sister store.
How much was his obligation?
$300 a month, total of $72.50. The minimum was $300.
$300 a month. And what happened?
So he made somewhat of the first payment the beginning of May. He paid $50 on the one loan and $160 on the other one. So a little short, but still a payment. It was an argument just to get that payment. Then we ended up breaking up not even a week later, the day before Mother's Day. He had stole some stuff from my house. That was it for me.
What'd he steal from you?
Something that belonged to my son's father. Me and my son's father just broken up. He still had some items at my house. Rufus took it upon himself to steal from my home, trying to prove, I guess, I was still sleeping with my baby's father, which I was not.
Who cares? I don't want to hear about this three-ring circus y'all had of sleeping with each other. Who cares? Y'all talking on the phone together. Let's move right on to this. So what did you do when you knew he didn't have a job or credit or bank account? What you say you did again? You put how much of a chain in your name for him?
$72.50.
$72.50. No job. $7,000.
He did have a job.
Off the top. Second week of work. What else you want me to know?
Plaintiff Jessica Pasico is suing her ex-boyfriend, who claims Jessica was jealous, possessive, and sneaky.
You tell me why you shouldn't pay. Sounds like you didn't pay the chain off.
I shouldn't have to pay because if the chain was given back, what am I paying?
Okay, when did you give it back?
And what I gave it back, I want to say right before my birthday. My birthday is May 13th.
And she agreed that she would accept it back?
It wasn't really an agreement. We met up, I gave her the chain, and that was it. Like, I mean, I didn't
No,
think...
it has to be an agreement on who's going to pay for the balance or what's going to happen in terms of her credit. Because if she doesn't pay for it, that $300 a month, what do you think will happen?
Yeah, it'll go on her credit report.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So you're talking about you ain't got nothing else to do with it. Are you a scrub?
No, sir.
That's how you sound. First, I thought you was a player, but you're not a player at all. If that's how you talking and dealing with her, that's what is typically described as a scrub. I don't know whether you want or not, but that's typically how they're described. You're going to get a $7,200 necklace. Why? To go to the club and look big and look important, look like you fake like you got money. Pose, isn't that what they call it now?
Not at
all right. What?
I said not at all, Your Honor.
Why didn't you pay it off then?
Because when we met up and I gave her the chain, that was supposed to...
Why didn't you keep the chain and pay it off?
Because she was sitting here, we were going through a disagreement.
So? What's that got to do with you paying?
Because what am I pay for it for if she wanted the chain back?
Because you have it.
No, but she wanted the chain back, Your Honor. That's
oh,
what I'm
you
saying.
asked for it back?
Your Honor, I never seen this man after I broke up with him the day before Mother's Day. I even have a text message from him, page 1, stating he had turned the chain in to get stuff done to it so it would be ready for his birthday. He was getting his Rolex fixed. I never seen that chain.
All right, so, so you don't have it?
I've never seen that chain after we left from the jewelry store.
Okay.
He wore it for a week and then took it back to the jewelry store to get his Rolex fixed and some stuff done on the chain.
All right. You have any other discussions of the chain? Yes or no?
No. I mean, I have proof. I've been paying the minimum payments.
Okay. Let me hear from you. You have any communications you can direct me to?
No, I have no communications.
All right. What do you want to say?
I just wanted to say that she has the chain, and there's no reason for me to sit here and come on national TV just to sit here and lie about a chain. $72.50.
Give me the scenario where you returned it. Where were you all? What happened? What?
The scenario, we were at, I want to say in front of Fox Valley, right? Basically at the mall. I want to say, what is that? A McDonald's right there.
She returned it to you at the mall?
No, I returned it to her, and the only reason.
At the mall?
No, not at the mall, like in the parking lot. Like we met up, like in the parking lot.
Why did you all decide to meet up there?
Because she thought I wasn't going to make the payments because we weren't together anymore.
What does that have to do with meeting up in the parking lot?
No, we met up in the parking lot because that's where I said, let's meet in a public space.
Why?
If we already going through an argument, I'm not trying to make a scene. I want to meet in a public space.
All right. And which mall was that?
Fox Valley.
All right. Fox Valley Mall. What store were you all in front of? Because you can't, this is a big parking lot. Where did you say which store to meet
I want to say
at?
it was by the round one section. So I don't know if that's by round one. It was like, it's like a.
No,
like
I said
arcade.
store.
Yeah, it said round one. So I think that's by Macy's, I want to say. The round
Okay.
one.
So you met over, and that's where you told her to meet?
Yes.
Okay. You have any evidence that you gave it back to her?
No.
Okay. Because you have an obligation to pay for it. And since you haven't, and you have no evidence that you gave it to her, I don't see why you wouldn't pay. $2,300, your counterclaim is for what?
The counterclaim is for in March when she actually bet my sister. If you look, Your Honor, on page 1, my sister actually wrote a statement. I actually loaned her $1,800 for her rent.
You have any evidence of that other than your sister, who will say anything for you, no doubt? You have any other evidence of a loan?
No.
All right, all right.
Your Honor,
Yeah.
I actually have the Cash App that he sent me.
Ma'am, this man can't loan anybody nothing.
You know.
Let's leave that alone. I'm
You're
just
right.
played with him on
You're
that.
right.
Let him
You're
say
right.
what he wanted to
You're
say.
right.
He doesn't have a dime. He's a bad player. I thought he was a real player. He's a bad
Well, Your
player.
Honor,
He playing the game
You're right.
backwards all the
Can I
way.
say something,
That's
Your
why
Honor?
I'm granting you your judgment for $5,000. You
Thank
can't return anything once you brought it. That's not a return policy to her. That was bought from the jewelry store. She took it back to them, see if they would take it. They just said, nope, keep paying. I don't care how broke you are. They just said, quit jumping around with women and you'll have some money. But you're giving all your money up to women, going up to them, buying gifts 2 at a time for different women, jumping around, and you want to know why you are broke. Because you're playing the game backwards. Judgment for the plaintiff. Your claim is dismissed, player.
Thank you. Thank you. Blessings, and I hope you have a good life. Hey, I don't have nothing bad to say. There's no reason for me to say.
I didn't do anything wrong.
And neither did
Hello.
I. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Plaintiff Gary Butler Jr. says when he first met the defendant, he was attracted to his bad boy reputation. Gary claims the defendant didn't pay attention to him until Gary tried to push him away. And after that, they started dating. However, Gary's suing him today for a loan and stolen property. Defendant Troy Jones Jr. says Gary is the one who pursued him because of his reputation. And Gary wanted to tame him, but Troy wasn't having it. Troy claims Gary wanted things his way or no way, so they broke up. And Troy denies owing Gary anything.
Start with you.
All right, Your Honor. First off, I met the defendant in October of 2013. I moved to Wichita, originally be with somebody else, but things didn't work out, and I kind of heard of his reputation. He had kind of a bad boy reputation. I got a thing for bad boys, you know, drinking, drugging, sexing, having a good time.
Drinking, drugging?
Yeah.
How about whooping you?
Whooping me?
Yeah, hitting you.
No.
Okay. None of your bad boys ever hit on you?
No.
Okay, well, you lucky. That's what bad boys do.
They know better. I don't, you know.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So anyway, we kind of started kicking it in October. just having fun, going out, drinking, chilling, doing things like that. And then in November, we kind of made it official. TJ, they call him TJ. He came to my house probably October the 31st. It was a Halloween party. He came over after Halloween party and tried to kick it with me, but he didn't smell right. Smelled like he had been doing something. I told him to get out, pushed him in his face, told him he had to get on. Called me when he had some respect. It is true, and I think that's what kind of hooked him, because after that, that's when he started calling my phone, popping up on my job, asking me what I was...
Showing up on your job unannounced?
Not showing up before I went to work. Showing
up on your job.
No, I didn't mean to say...
Before you went to work.
I didn't mean to say showing up on my job, just showing up at my house before I went to...
That's not true.
Gotcha.
Anyway, yes. So anyway, that's when he started calling me. That's when he kind of got a little respect. I think that's when I hooked him. He started calling me, bringing me lunch and doing things like that. And so as time went on, we were dating from November to about February. He asked me to borrow some money. This was like 5 days after Valentine's Day.
Lunch is expensive.
That's right.
And I think Valentine's was expensive. He wanted to get his money back. So he asked me to borrow some money after that. We were dating for quite some time, and he's a respectable man, so I didn't mind loaning it to him. Plus, he was my partner at the time.
All right, before we get to the specifics, let me allow him to give some background. Then we'll get to the loans again.
Okay.
Well, Your Honor, I did have a bad boy reputation, but Mr. Butler.
Doing what exactly?
Well, most of my partners, they what I call know their place. Whatever.
So you would jump on them?
If it needs,
that's what bad boys do. Like you said,
if needed to be,
yeah.
But
bad boy, good boy.
Plaintiff Gary Butler Jr. dated the defendant, and he claims he was first attracted to the defendant because of his bad boy reputation.
Sir?
Me, I'm used to submissive pretty boys. He's got the pretty boy part down, but he was only submissive in the bedroom. So any other time, he didn't want to listen.
'Cause I hear a lot of these cases, ladies come in, Judge, I like a roughneck. I say, well, man, why are you here today? 'Cause he choked me. Right? Because how do you define a bad boy?
And the whole point and the whole thing with me showing up at his house or whatever before he went to work, this, that, and other, that's because he would hit me on Facebook and tell me to come over or whatever before he went to work. If he's gonna tell the story, he need to tell the whole story.
That's not true.
And so, he pursued me. He got in contact with me first. Why? Because of my reputation. He wanted that heartbreaking bad boy.
To tame him.
Still do.
To tame him.
Well, if that was the case,
Didn't work, did it?
No, it didn't. Not at all. That's why we're not together right now. But anyway, so once we got together, at first it started off real nice, and then Mr. Butler became what I call hard-headed.
That's right. That's right. Bad boys say his mate was hard-headed.
Yeah.
That's a true bad boy.
I tell him to do one thing, he do another.
He wouldn't do what he was told.
He wanted things his way or no way. And I couldn't have
You didn't play that.
No, I couldn't have that. So,
You're a true bad boy there. Call all the shots. Ain't no 50-50 with you.
It's either my way or no way. That's
there
the
you
way
go.
it was.
Ain't no 50-50 love.
And I guess he called himself trying to tame me, but it just wasn't gonna happen.
Not for a bad boy like you.
No, and that's why I walked. So that's basically it.
He the real deal. Go ahead, sir.
Well, upon
Tell
him
me about
walking,
this
he walked
loan.
off with my money, my ticket, my Blu-ray player, and I want all that back, and that's why we're here today, because he owed me that.
Because he owe you the money.
Yes,
Tell me
sir.
about the loan again.
Okay, like I said, back in February after Valentine's Day, he asked me to loan him $250.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
When was he to repay?
Sir?
When was he to repay?
Just repay me. It wasn't really a specific date at the time,
Okay.
but just for him to repay me. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
So I had him sign this note because even with money,
Good, let's
loaning
see.
your mama money or anybody money, you want to make sure if you need be, you get your money back. I also have some estimates for my Blu-ray player and my 42-inch.
Tell me
flat
about
screen.
that.
Okay, in April I had to go to Kansas City to deal with some legal issues, and I thought I was just going to go to court, but I ended up getting sat down for 30 days. And my rent was due. Of course, the bad boy couldn't pay it, so I asked him, could he at least do is move my stuff out of my house? He did that, but when he moved my stuff out, when I got back to Wichita, I didn't have a TV or a Blu-ray player. I had everything else, but I didn't have that.
He told me complied with your request.
He did that.
Move it out.
He did that.
You didn't
but
say give it back. You didn't say hold it for me until I get back.
But it was mine, Your Honor, so he knew he was supposed to. We were together. If I moved his stuff out, I would have kept it. When he got home, it would have been in one piece.
So he robbed you?
Yes.
That's so not true, Your Honor.
When I got back home.
He's a bad boy.
Yeah.
That's what bad boys do.
That's taking bad boy to a new level.
They take the money, they jump on you when they need to, tell you what to do, order you around. What'd you say, he like to drink and drug all the time?
Yeah.
Criminal?
Yeah. And that's the first thing that came to my mind when he didn't have my stuff. I thought he stole my stuff.
You sound like you should have been, that should have excited you.
Not at this point.
It didn't excite you?
Not at this point, on top of not paying me my money
living up to his reputation.
Yeah, that was a straw that
he
broke the
robbed
camel's
me.
Oh, man.
He's a bad boy. He told me what to do, and if I didn't do it, he threatened me. Ooh. That's what bad boys do. You don't know what you thought.
I thought wrong.
He got a reputation for a bad boy.
Plaintiff Gary Butler Jr. dated the defendant, and he claims he was first attracted to the defendant because of his bad boy reputation.
Tell me about the loan and the stolen property, sir.
Well, Your Honor, I believe it was back in February, I ran into some hard times and I asked them to let me hold $250. Okay. Yeah, I had intentions on giving it back someday, but he didn't specify when. So as time went on, things got a little bit more rocky or whatever. And so when he did get locked up or whatever, I sold the TV and the Blu-ray player because I had to pay people to help move this stuff. I didn't have the money. So when they started hawking on me about paying them, I had to come up with the money some kind of way, so I went on and sold this stuff so I could pay the people.
Did you tell him that, and was that acceptable?
Well, he was in jail. I couldn't tell him.
Oh, you didn't allow him to call you, or you didn't have a phone?
Well, I wasn't going to keep putting money on my phone. I didn't like to get him locked up. It wasn't my fault.
Else. $710 is your judgment. He admits to it, and the issue of the timely payment, it's within a reasonable time if you don't give a specific date, and it's been beyond a reasonable time. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Hey, I'm glad to have a drink now. Thank you.
I'm glad it is over.
Thank you, Judge Mathis. I feel relieved. I forgot my money back. I'm going to be able to go buy me, of course, I've had a TV and Blu-ray player before then, but I'm going to go do something special for myself with that money, and I appreciate the judgment. And now we can go out and have a drink or something. I mean, he's a cool person. He's my ex, but we can go kick it or something now that that's resolved. I got my money back. I don't have no hard feelings for him.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Plaintiff Olivia Butler dated the defendant, but she claims after he canceled their plans on Valentine's Day, Olivia saw pictures of him at a club with another woman posted on social media, and she has the pictures in court today. She's suing her ex for a flight, a hotel room, and loans. Defendant James Ramis insists he never cheated on Olivia. And on the Valentine's Day in question, he and Olivia weren't even together. He's countersuing for a down payment on a car and car repairs.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Your Honor, in November of 2019, I met James on an online dating site. We started talking, communicating.
You heard of the Crown laws?
No, Your Honor.
You better be glad they passed, because I don't like your hair, and I dismissed the case.
Well, I'm glad they passed it.
No, I'm making the point. I love your hair. My wife and my daughter from time to time wear their hair like that. And the Crown laws, and that's why I'm stopping to say this, because many people discriminated in the workplace based on hair. And they have new legislation in several states, not all. Several states have Crown laws where if they mention your hair and then you feel some kind, I don't know the exact elements of that are necessary, but I know people can't mess with you about no hair in the workplace anymore. That's what I'm saying. If you want to wear your locks if you want to wear your crown like you have your braids and any other way you want to wear your hair. So, crown laws, I could have thrown you out before. I wouldn't have anyway. As I said, I like your hair. But folks, no one can discriminate against you in many states. So that should be a relief to many people who fear employers or others because of the way they wear their hair. All right, so you all met in November, and how did it go?
Things worked out really great for the next 6 months. We talked on the phone. We used the dating site app to communicate. And so in April of 2020, after about 6 months since we were in the middle of the pandemic, we decided to meet in person. And I felt comfortable enough based on
That's the opposite. You started to meet in person since you're in the pandemic. It should have been the opposite. We decided we stay on social media instead of meeting. But go ahead, y'all wanted some comfort during that COVID.
Right, and it was 6 months later, Your Honor. So we had been talking for about 6 months, and James is a very charming guy. At the time, he expressed that he wanted to at least try to meet all of the needs. You know, he did everything during that time frame to try to convince me to just trust him during that time. Your Honor, then in about July of 2020, July 4th, we actually took a trip to Mississippi. Prior to that, I guess in June, he started talking about marriage. So things were working out really, really well. They were going very fast, moving very, very fast. He was talking about marriage. We went to see my parents in July. He asked my parents if he could marry me. And my dad kind of smiled. My mom said, I'm not too sure. There's something about that guy. You need to just wait a little bit and just consider what you're doing. And so I'm very thankful for my mom for actually saying that. And you'll understand better as we go through this story.
Now, did he get around to you? I know sometimes you ask parents first. Did he get around to proposing to you?
Well, he asked me, but it was just an ask. There was no ring involved.
Okay.
So he asked, but no ring involved. After we returned from that July trip, there were a number of, all of a sudden, James did a disappearing act almost on me. So my son was in Mississippi. That was the time for us to get to know each other. We had talked about getting to know each other, but he did a disappearing act, not coming around, not being available. So during that time, I started suspecting that there was someone else, that there were other people that he may have been dealing with. And in December, on December 15th.
What gave you that suspicion?
Just the fact that prior to that, I was seeing him almost every day.
Okay.
He was coming around. Changing pattern resulted in me having some suspicion, Your Honor. Mm-hmm. Then in December, on December 15th, I went to visit him. He had been complaining that I would never come to visit him at his home, so I went to visit him at his home. And while I was there, there was a ring at the door. Another female came in, and after about 15 minutes of them going back and forth, he finally introduced us.
Going back and forth doing what?
Talking and arguing.
Arguing.
Yes, Your Honor. After they went back and forth arguing for about 15 minutes, he finally introduced us. He introduced her by name. He introduced me as his fiance at the time. Once she heard that, she became very surprised that he had a fiance. And she says to him, "Why is it that you have a fiance? I don't know about her and we're intimately involved." Again, in February,
what did he say?
Sir?
What did he say?
He said, "You know that I have somebody. You already know that you and I aren't together."
Okay.
And so he denied it.
So give me some proof that he did.
So he denied it for the next 2 months. Then in February, because that was a really catastrophic to our relationship, because the fact that she showed up and she felt very comfortable just walking through the house.
Got it.
By February, we had talked about it.
One more question about that scenario. When he said, "You know we're not together," what did she say?
She said, "You know we've been together." She actually said, "We've been together." And she gave some dates, like very close. And I asked a question. I asked him the question because I didn't know her. She didn't know me. So she doesn't owe me anything. Right. So I asked him, "When was the last time you all were intimately involved?" And his response to me was, "Ask her, since she's the one."
And what did she say?
She said last week.
There you go. All right. And did he say anything after that?
Said, I wasn't with her. He kept continuing to deny it.
Good enough.
And so from December to February, he tried to convince me that she was lying to me. In February, on February 14th, Valentine's Day, we decided that we were going to have a conversation to decide whether we were going to try to continue our relationship or not. So we said, we'll have dinner, we'll get together on February 14th. He had a pattern of changing and canceling plans at the last minute. Again, on Valentine's Day, he canceled the plan, and this time...
Did he?
He did. He said he had to go to work. I've
That's
been
a
called
sign.
into work.
That's a bad sign.
It is.
Go ahead.
I've been called
You
into
got a
work.
lot of visiting. All right, go ahead. A lot of flowers to drop off, Doc. What time you go to sleep?
I used to go about 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning where he was still dropping off flowers and he just couldn't get to you. You was asleep. He was trying to get to you at 3 with your flowers. And he went to the first one at 8. She didn't let him out until 9. She made him eat. Then he came up with some, oh, I ain't feeling good. Oh. So Lee, I gotta go. See, he laughing, he don't know the game. Then he gets over to the other lady's house. It took him a little travel time because she stayed across town. He keep them separate across town from each other. So he didn't get there at 10. She shaking her head. She know I know too. So he get there at 10, the second one, right?
Right.
Hey, babe. Hi, I was expecting you for dinner. Oh, I'm sick, but hey, ain't no sickness gonna stop me from seeing you. Here go these flowers and a glass of wine. And they sit up there, and then, baby, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be bad company. Whew, got out of that. Go get his next set of flowers.
Cross her off the list.
Yeah, cross her off the list. So that's what happened. They'll hold it against him.
And I asked a question. I asked him the question because I didn't know her. She didn't know me. So she doesn't owe me anything.
Right.
So I asked him, when was the last time you all were intimately involved? And his response to me was, ask her since she's the one.
What did
talking.
she say?
She said last week.
There you go.
Defendant James Ramis is being sued by his ex-girlfriend, who claims she caught James cheating after another woman came to his home and confessed to their affair.
So he changed plans on Valentine's Day. What did he say to change? The reason?
He had to go to work. However, Your Honor, if you look at evidence on pages 1 to 3, you will see that he was out on Valentine's Day living his best life with another female, and there are pictures to prove it on pages 1 to 3. Pictures that he posted and pictures that the young lady.
I don't see him. That's not him. I don't see him.
You don't-
Leave that man alone. He ain't cheated on you. He ain't done nothing on you. Let me hear from you, sir.
How you doing? I met Olivia. We had an awesome relationship. And the situation she's talking about Valentine's Day, we were still having disagreements about these loans and stuff. And we wasn't on really good terms. We wasn't even together on Valentine's Day as far as in a relationship because Olivia decided to leave me alone after some other events happened in December. When the girl came to the house, I tried to explain. I told Olivia I didn't touch her, which I didn't. Didn't mess with her, period. The girl had a son that was...
I see you about to get yourself.
No, the girl had a...
Stuck with her story. You could even stuck with her story. Would have been better. So you should have said, "See, Judge, you heard what she said."
The woman didn't even have no date to give her. Because if I'd have did it and Olivia was there and that girl would have came over, I'd have admitted if I was wrong. Because we had other situations going up to even a lead for me even to talk to the other lady. I mean, the other lady never got intimate. It was an ex-girlfriend from some years ago.
What's she doing over your house with no clothes on?
She wasn't at my house with no clothes on. She wasn't even supposed to show up. And Olivia showed up that day not telling me she was coming. She got there right when I got off work. I got in the shower. A few minutes after I got in the shower, the other young lady knocks on the door, and I let her in. I'm thinking,
what y'all taking a shower together for?
And I'm thinking nothing of it. I introduced.
What are you and the young lady taking a shower together for?
Olivia was in the house while I was taking a shower.
You just said you took a shower.
No.
We took a shower.
No, I didn't even take a shower with her that day.
Go ahead.
And the girl came in. I introduced Olivia. She say, well,
go ahead.
Well, that's your woman. I didn't know nothing about her. And me and you did. I can't say all the words she said in court. But she said you did this, and this to me. I said, no, I didn't. And she stuck to her story. And then later on that day, her and Olivia were still communicating or whatever. Olivia and her was on the phone. She comes back to my door at 11 o'clock at night.
Olivia or the other
the other girl. But they're on the phone and Olivia called, ain't that Jamie at your front door? So they start communicating.
Coordinating. That's just
coordinating. And I feel like that's what caused me and Olivia's relationship to go back. And we had an awesome relationship. And I tried to explain to Olivia, I didn't mess with that lady because I wanted me and Olivia's relationship. Since then, me and Olivia, before a couple of weeks ago, I was calling her checking on Olivia. Can we please fix our stuff? Can we please fix our stuff?
What'd you have to do Valentine's night?
Valentine's Day night, I was bored. I went out on a date. Went to House of Soul on Washington.
You say you lied to her and said you had to work.
I did work that morning, and I got off at 6 o'clock.
See, that's when she wanted to be with you after 6.
She ain't going to no club.
Dinner, a romantic dinner. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, I heard of it. I messed up, but we was having problems, Mr. Your Honor, and I just didn't go over there.
Okay.
I didn't go over there. We was having problems, so I didn't go over there. Cause when she gets angry, it's a whole different ball game. So I get scared of Olivia sometimes. So I didn't go over there that night. I didn't think it was safe.
You get scared of her, why?
Cause she a gangster.
Oh well.
She a Mississippi gangster.
Judgment for Olivia. You didn't get me messed up. Judgment for Olivia.
I wasn't going over there.
What part of Mississippi gangster is she?
I'm from Silver Creek, Mississippi, Your Honor.
What is that near? Jackson?
It's about 70 miles southeast of Jackson.
Okay, got it. All right, tell me about the loans you're suing them about, or the flight and the hotel and the loans.
So, Your Honor, in about May of 2020,
you still bothering with him? Go ahead.
Still bothering with him, yes. James told me that he had to go to Valdosta, Georgia to sell some land that he owned there. However, he did not have the monies for him to get his flight, his hotel, and his car. He needed to borrow the money, and he would get it back to me as soon as the land sold. And we all know 3 days.
At least it was land.
Well, yes, 3 days
I
to 2
used
weeks
to
he should
sell
have
the
money.
Detroit River. When I was conning women back in the day. Baby, I gotta leave for a minute. I gotta sell Detroit River. Got a man bidding on it. Okay, well, I need a few $100 just so I can get a suit and look good. So, cause he ain't gonna buy the river from me if I don't look right. So this was land, okay.
It's land.
Land, not river, land. All right, at least he gave you land game. You got a lot of visiting. All right, go ahead. A lot of flowers to drop off, Doc. What time you go to sleep?
I used to go about 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning, well, he was still dropping off flowers and he just couldn't get to you. You was asleep. He was trying to get to you at 3 with your flowers.
Defendant James Ramis is being sued by his ex-girlfriend, who claims she caught James cheating after another woman came to his home and confessed to their affair.
So what happened?
So, Your Honor, he gets there, he comes back, he never pays me. And
what does he say about this big land deal? That's what I want to hear about.
He said that he closed. The following week, he then said, oh, there's a water bill, and I'm using air quotes, that has to be paid before they can finalize and get me my money. Oh. So there was more money that he needed to borrow.
He's pretty good.
And all of that is listed there. And then from June to December, there were multiple things that he needed monies for. And I think he knew how to tug at my heart. So he told me that on September 10th, that his youngest son's mother had died, and that after his son's mother died, he needed to get a place for he and his youngest son to live so that he could provide covering and housing for his son. Then he says, oh, well, they're coming out and they're going to inspect the house, and I have to have a refrigerator and a stove. So the house that he rented, I helped him to get the monies for the down payment. I helped him. The next month, I was like, you need to make sure you have the money. The next month, he didn't have the money for his rent. Then he's supposedly getting his son. He needs a stove and this refrigerator. I help him get that. And then, Your Honor, the son has never stayed in this house. But because he knows that children are my heart, he used that.
Now, how about the passing of the son's mother?
I'm not sure that she's dead, Your Honor. I don't trust that she is truly dead, because if she was, why would the biological father not have the child?
My son lives in my house right now, and I said it's on national TV. And me and Olivia didn't trust that stuff because of that stuff with that girl. I heard Olivia's feelings with that stuff with that other woman that I never slept with. And that's the only reason I feel
What about repayment of all these loans?
Repayment of these debts, I agreed to $2,769 of the debts because I borrowed a couple of them things she did on that debt list. She did it because we had an account together. And she took care of the account because it had her name on it because of her position at her job, which I had overdraft protection on the account. And she paid it because she said she couldn't have nothing on that on her record for things. So I never asked her to pay the $480-something on this list for them overdraft fees. She did that because the account had both our names.
I see a promissory note on the list of evidence. So, you have a note where you had him sign it, ma'am, agreeing to repay?
Yes, Your Honor. And
so why are you suing for more than the amount that he agreed to pay?
Yes, sir. That was a promissory note for the $900 for the house, for the rent on the house.
You loaned him how much more after that?
After that date. So everything after the promissory note, Your Honor?
Because otherwise you should have put it in here.
Oh, after that date, the only thing that I gave him was for the refrigerator and the stove after that.
And he was to repay you?
Every bit of it, Your Honor.
Why didn't you add that to the, or amend the promissory note?
Because he was actually at his house, which is about an hour away, and so he needed to go pick those
devices up. How much you say you owe, sir?
$2,769.
$2,769.
And the only reason I haven't paid on it is because we had another transaction we did, which I paid a down payment on a 2016 Jeep, paid for some repairs other than
we're going to get to that. That's your counterclaim for $3,850.
Yes, sir. My counterclaim for it, she put a Jeep on July 14th and her name because my credit was not good enough to get it. That said property she's talking about in Valdosta, Georgia, they was trying to give me $800,000 for it. It's worth $14 or $15 million. She said herself at the time.
They tried to give me 1.2 for the Detroit River.
I'm
like you, I wouldn't take it either.
And then she said, baby,
River.
She said, baby, I won't take that $800,000.
I was insulted. Weren't you insulted when they offered you $800,000?
Yeah, I was insulted, but I was insulted. And then it came to a point she signed for my Jeep. I was paying the payments. And before the grace period, which she don't agree with grace periods, 2 days after this incident happened with that girl, she came out, she said, well, ask me a question about that situation. She didn't like the answer I gave her. So she said, well, I'm coming to get your car. She came and got my car, but I had just paid my car payment 2 days before that to her. And I paid a down payment.
How much is your down payment?
Down payment was $2,000.
And the repairs?
And I had to fix a spindle, not counting on what was covered under warranty, was $1,700.
All right, I'll get back to her and we'll ask her about that. He says you breached the contract.
And we had a verbal agreement.
You need to be quiet.
Oh, all right.
Discuss, ma'am, the car.
So, Your Honor, on June 15th, we did go in and start looking at, he found a car. He said he was going to get a car after he got this land money. You will see on there, Your Honor, that I am saying he contradicted himself. The down payment on this car was only $1,000. That's on page 36 of this evidence. It is at $1,000 that he actually paid down on the car with the agreement and understanding that he would actually keep up the payments on a monthly basis, ensure that the payments were made and the insurance claims were made.
You have the car. You took it back.
I took it back because it was 3 months behind.
What reason did you take it back?
It wasn't
because he had missed the August payment, he had missed November payment, he had missed December payment.
Did you miss any payment?
No.
She get there at 10, the second one, right? Right. Hey, babe. Hi, I was expecting you for dinner. Oh, I'm sick, but you know, hey, ain't no sickness gonna stop me from seeing you.
Defendant James Ramis is being sued by his ex-girlfriend, who claims she caught James cheating after another woman came to his home and confessed to their affair.
That was an illegal repossession because you got mad about him and this girl, so you take the car back, you breach the contract you have with him. How much you say you owe, sir? That's all you're getting, ma'am. $2,769, and on the payment of your car is how much? Sir, are you asking for the down payment was $2,000? She said it was $1,000. You have evidence of the $2,000?
No,
all right, very good. Right. $1,850 for car repairs. Do you have that?
No, she has.
All right, all you're getting is the $1,000 she acknowledges. Have a good day. That's your judgment.
I can't believe you said my payment was 3 months behind when you got it, Olivia. And that's not true. You just got my payment the day before you came and took the car. And I don't have no problem with taking care of what I owe you. But when you took that car from me, that took money out of my pocket too. You did this stuff because you was hurt over that stuff with Jamie. I never did that stuff with Jamie. I'm staying on national TV, and I stayed in front of Jesus. I never touched that girl in the first place.
He knows that he's lying. He made multiple promises that he was going to bring me the money, not only for that, but for other things that he had borrowed from me. And now he's here on national television asking for the money back for this car. I never wanted a Jeep. I didn't ask for it.
You've been driving it like it's yours?
I'm driving it like it's mine because it's in my name.